Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, let's jump into the metals market. I'm Chris Giuliano. This is TrendCloud Trading. Welcome to the live stream where we talk about the markets and we go over technical analysis, entries, exits, how to take trades and get in on the long trending moves of the market. So, let's get right into it and go right over to the gold market here. All right. I got the chat up. All right, let's do this. As you can see on the micro gold, we've got the 4-hour trend here. It is down, and we've broken below the 200 simple moving average. Take a look at that. Okay, so if you have your trend cloud up on the screen, it's going to tell you where these major levels of support and resistance have broken. And we can see very clearly right here, candles are red, trend cloud is red, and we're breaking through the 200 simple, okay? 200 simple moving average. Here's the 100 simple moving average, okay? We've broken through both of those actually. So when that happens, okay, here we go. Here's the top. Let me take it off of magnet. Just look at the trajectory here, okay? Broke through trend cloud, pulls back up into the trend cloud, breaks through the 100, breaks through the 200. Now, what do you expect something like this to do when you've broken through a major level of support? Well, what it usually does is it comes back up into that area that it broke through to make another move down. Okay. Breaks through this area. This would be structure, right? This would be a pivot candle to the downside. What's it going to do? Pulls back into that general area, and we would draw it out like, like this, okay, somewhere in this area to make another move down. Breaks through again, pulls back somewhere in this area, right? Just like that, to make another move down. And this is the formula that we follow, right? The process that we follow. And there are ways to figure out how to rejoin this downtrend, because you don't want to go short too soon, right? We want to get to the area that was previously broken, and there are methods and techniques that we can use to get in on these areas here. Okay, there's techniques that we can use to get in on these areas and trend follow the trend as far as it's going to go. All right, so that is what we study in technical analysis. So on the highest time frame here, we're looking at the 4-hour chart. We've got to break through the 200 simple moving average, and we're going to start to study, and we'll talk about how we enter the trade in the area that this thing is going to possibly pull back into. Okay, that's the technical analysis part of what we do. So take a look at the middle chart now. Now that we know we've broken through some structure, the middle time frame is going to give us our momentum, right? It's going to give us trend as well, but it's also going to give us momentum. And we like to see trend and momentum going in the same direction. And that is what we have here. So we've got a very strong trend with momentum at its side going down. Okay, so we have downward pressure here as well. If we take a look at the cycle indicator now, take a look at the cycle indicator on that high time frame. What does this tell us? The cycle indicator is going to tell us whether or not we're in a corrective phase or an impulse phase. So right now, it is moving down and it is red. So it is impulsing to the downside. And look at momentum. Momentum is starting to go up, right? It's starting to flash green here. So that is sort of like when you tap the brakes on your car. You're driving down the highway, you see some traffic coming up ahead, and so you start pumping the brakes, right? So that's what this is. And but again, it's like you're just starting to put your foot on the brake there, because that's the only thing that's green. Everything else is pretty much red. Now, on the lowest time frame, we have these blue candles. And the blue candles are representing sort of like pumping the brakes as well. The blue candles are saying that the trend is extended. So how do you know when a trend is extended? Let's take a look at that. So this is all information that you've got to interpret and put together so that you can understand it in a cohesive way, right? So let me take you through the trend here. So there's 5 waves in an average trend, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and what we have here is actually a failed 5, right? So this is like 5A, B, C, D. All right. Now it has broken through, right? Now we have broken through the lowest point here. Okay. And you can see what we drew here. What do we have here, right? We've got this channel sort of going on, right? That's some classical charting that we've got there. So the idea with TrendCloud is to have these pictures on your chart that represent price action. If you can read price action and you can interpret all these little bits of information that TrendCloud is presenting to you, you'll be able to apply your trading strategy much more effectively, right? So we know we've got a downtrend on that high time frame. All right, let's just erase everything here. We know we have a downtrend on the high time frame. It broke through structure. Downtrend on the middle time frame, and we've got a downtrend on the high time frame, and this on the low time frame, and the trend has pretty much gone extended here. So what does that mean? Well, so we've got some breaks here, pumping the brakes here, pumping the brakes here. All right. So does that mean that the trend is over? No. It means that we might be going into some kind of a pullback. Where is that pullback going to take place? That's the big question now, isn't it? That's what we have to try and interpret. That's what makes this so difficult. But when you have TrendCloud on your chart, it gives you notifications like this. Middle time frame TrendCloud. This is where it's located. What does price like to do? Well, it likes to pull back into the trend cloud and then go lower. So this is your first point of reference as to where this thing is going to pull back to. Okay, so let's go to our lower time frame here and go to that box that we just boxed out from the trend cloud, top of the trend cloud to the bottom of the trend cloud on the 1 hour chart. There it is right there. What do we see here? Okay, let's take a close look at this. What do we see here? Well, all of this in here is chop, isn't it? This right here, if we take a look at this, okay, now on the 15-minute chart, this is just a rally and a drop. So let's drop down to the 5-minute, and there we go. So here is a drop base drop that broke through structure. All right. So we've got ourselves a little formation right here. Drop base drop. But do you see how TrendCloud pointed me to where that was? Okay, it's very important to see that. That is the information that you want on your chart to zone in on these formations. Okay. So now, where else? We've got it up here as well, don't we? And look at how close we're getting. Look how close we're getting to the high time frame. Here's the low time frame trend cloud, and up here is the high time frame trend cloud. And look at that, we've got the 100 simple moving average as well. That's located inside there. If we go to the middle time frame, we've got the 50 simple here, and we've got this drop base drop on the 1 hour chart. So do you see how the darkest areas, when you draw things this way, see how the darkest areas overlap? That's the area that you want to look at. It's a really cool technique that I came up with, and I think you'll really enjoy this. So if you use TrendCloud to draw the general area, you just box out the trend cloud on your high time frame and your middle time frame. Just do that automatically. Then start looking for formations inside of that area or close to it. And what you'll get is overlap of your boxes, and that will be the area that you focus on for the pullback. And it works very well. So let's take a look at the 5-minute chart here. We'll have to go back, and there you go. Okay, so let's drag this. Let's see. Let's drag this over. Okay, and look at that. Look at how perfectly that gets boxed out. Rally, base, base, drop. This is a rally base drop that turns into a drop base drop. And that right there is what really breaks through a lot of structure. Okay. Pulls back, doesn't quite make it back into that area, and ends up making another move down. Okay, and now we've just gone sideways. So what could happen? This could pull back into that zone and then do something like this. Maybe it comes down and makes a double bottom. Maybe it breaks through. Okay, if it forms a lower high, then we may have a chance at a reversal here, and that's what we would look at. We would start looking for a reversal of the trend, right? So once you form that lower high, and you break through that structure, we can now say price action is to the upside. Okay. But until that day comes, or that situation comes, where we have to focus on the downward move. All right, that's just technical analysis. You can't go guessing. You have to just trade what you see. Okay, and that's what really attracted me to all of this, is that the information is on the chart, and if you can come up with a system that addresses those little clues and encompasses trend, momentum, timing, support and resistance across multiple time frames, you've got yourself something very powerful, and that is the TrendCloud system. Okay, so these are the areas in question. If price pulls back into any one of these areas here, and we still have our conditions being met, we can take the trade. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, as long as you follow the simple instructions, right? If you go making stuff up on your own, well, then you might be in a little bit of trouble. Okay. So let's go over to micro silver now. Wow, micro silver is very low. Let's go over to the regular silver market here. Yeah, pretty much looks it's the same. We just have very low volume on micro silver. Recalculate. Okay. What do we have here? Same thing. Downtrend on all 3 time frames. Love that. Micro silver though, however, cycling up, momentum is up, so we have these opposing forces. Now, does this mean trend reversal? No, it does not. What this means is we are in a corrective phase on this downtrend. What does a corrective phase mean? Corrective phase means you're in a downtrend and you're correcting back up into the trend cloud for the move down. Okay. So let me make it clear for you. This right here is a corrective phase. See, it's opposite. This right here is an impulse phase. You're impulsing down with the trend. Okay. Does everybody see that? Downtrend, cycling down, that means you're impulsing down. Downtrend, correcting up into the trend cloud until you get that impulse back down. So this cycle indicator might do something like this. Come up here, right? Let's make that green. And then when it starts to hook back down, we will be in an impulse, back into that impulse phase. And you'll probably see a red bar on your momentum filter. All right. So this here helps us understand the general direction and the momentum of the trend, because you have to know that. If you don't understand what stage of the trend you're in, you won't have a good enough chance at making money on that trend. You won't have a good enough chance because you'll be fighting against it. So we really want to be a part of this trend. We really want to be a part of this trend, not during this phase, right? I'm just going to make it all black now. Not part of this phase. We don't want to be a part of this. We want to be a part of this, right? All right, let's continue to read the charts. What's going on the middle chart? Candles are blue, right? We're pumping the brakes. This right here means that the trend is extended, and it's possible that we're going to have a deep pullback somewhere above this line here. This right here, this is your line in the sand, right? Between uptrend and downtrend. That's the 50 simple. And on your TrendCloud device, you can adjust that. Maybe you want to use the 55 exponential. Maybe you want to use the 13 exponential. I don't know. But what I found that works best through back testing, especially in the futures market, is the 50 simple. Okay, so the 50 simple is my line in the sand between uptrend and downtrend. All right. So when you see the candles start to turn ice blue, that means that the car is running out of gas, right? This is your gas light. Where's the gas station? The gas station is always above the 50 simple in a downtrend, right? So we're going down, we're driving down the highway, car is running out of gas, got to pull into the gas station, it pulls above the 50 simple. It will recalculate. See how it did it here? It went down, pulls back, candle recalculates, and then made another move down. All right. So you can predict, you can predict that this right here is going to happen when the candles start to turn ice blue. There's no way to predict, especially early in the trend, that this thing is just going to rip past and and break above the 50. Okay, this is a lot of people got stopped out here, right? Because this thing just went one wave, two waves. It was about to make the third wave down and said, "Up, no, I'm going to jump up here." So this might have been news related, right? This thing right here, that might have been news related. And that's why it did that. Because usually what it does, right, at least on the middle time frame, it does this. It trends, right? 1, 2, well, I should say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And this, if you don't have that on there, you can count them, right? And then if you put TrendCloud, it will be really specific, okay, because this is a mathematical equation, okay? But if you just count it yourself, even if you're off by one wave, like I just did, you're still going to be in the general ballpark, okay? I don't want you to think that it's like super perfect and exact, okay? Nothing in the market is super perfect and exact. We deal in zones, we deal in general areas, right? Not it's going to pull back to this line and it's going to turn around, right? So so what this did was it counted this whole line here as 1, right? 2, 3, and pull back 4, and then it just went sideways, right? Went sideways, sideways. And as soon as it broke above the trend cloud, it counted out at 1 again, right? That's why you see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's just pretty much going sideways on that 5-minute chart. Jump back to the 15. Okay. So we've gone extended, right? Right here, it went extended both on the 15-minute and the 1 hour. And what did it do? Broke above the trend cloud. Okay, but the trend is still very strong to the downside. All right, let's go over to copper. Copper. Copper, little whipsaw action going on, right? On that high time frame. Let's recalculate. Always adjust your chart. Always recalculate your chart. Turn everything off. Take a look at it, get a bird's eye view of this thing, and then start doing your analysis. So, yeah. So what do we have here? We had this trend going up, broke through the trend line, pulled back up, found support, and right, and it didn't follow through. Right, we thought maybe there'd be a break of structure here. That's what we were looking for, but it didn't do that, right? It just came down and then made one last move to the upside. Okay, so then you can take your trend line, put it there, right? Take your trend line, put it there, and what do you get? Break of structure. Now you get the break of structure, right? Breaks through that trend line, pulls back up, We're waiting for a break of structure right here, and it gives it to us. All right, and now we've ripped all the way back up to here, and we are going sideways. Okay, so real sideways kind of movement here. It's not trending, is it? It's not making these nice stair steps. And if it doesn't make stuff that we like, you know what we do? We stay away from it, right? We just stay away from it. If it's not making moves that we like, we just stay away from it. Hey, Hitch, how's it going, buddy? So copper, yeah, not really liking the. If you don't like the looks, then just stop right there. I would not advance if you don't like what you see on the highest time frame. Just as a rule of thumb, right? Because then otherwise you'll end up just wasting time. Okay, let's go over to platinum. Okay, platinum here looks like platinum is just crossing above the TrendCloud. We've got the TrendCloud crossover right here. That's just forming. That's great. We love that. We broke through structure here. See that? Platinum is on the move. Broke through structure. Let's make that purple. We always make our structural breaks purple. There we go. Okay. Green candles, broke above that 100 simple, broke past structure here. Let's see what phase we're in. Okay, so we've got momentum to the downside, but we are still impulsing up. And we've got trend to the upside on the 1 hour. Momentum is up on the 1 hour. And we're going up on that 15-minute. Great. Let's see if we can apply the opening range breakout here. Okay, so it is we should have the opening range formed. Let's put up that 15-minute chart and see what it's showing us. I have a feeling this is pulling back into, yeah, okay. So what we've got is we've got this breakout to the downside with all of this trend and momentum going up. Why is this breaking out to the downside? Well, you have to start thinking to yourself, bear trap, right? Bear trap. We broke past structure. We have to trade what we see. We have to trade what we see. And what we're seeing is some kind of breakout to the downside. This has got to be some kind of bear trap. Well, what do we have? We've got this drop base rally right here. Does it pull back to here? And notice how I'm drawing that. See how I am drawing the gap? Because it's quite possible that this wants to fill that gap, okay, and then start making its move back to the upside. See that? So that's what I would be looking for. Now, it's very possible it never reaches down here, right? Maybe it's not going to reach all the way down here. Maybe it's going to go all the way to this previous day's low. So what you could do is drop down to your 5, put your TrendCloud on there, okay, and start looking like we got a signal here, okay, and well, let's see here. So we've got the cycle. We just we don't have that momentum yet, right? So we would not have taken this this signal because momentum is not with us on that high time frame. This is like our confirmation. This is confirmation, right? If you did take a chance on this, it wanted to go deeper, right? And do you see how this signal on your trend cloud is below trend cloud? And all the signals that worked are above that line in the sand. All the signals that we got here, here, and here, they all worked, right? They all worked. This one right here, we never got into because you have to place your entry one tick above the candle that caused the that caused the candle to make the signal, right? Hey, hello there. How's it going? Tajiro? Taniro? Kamado, hello. All right, we are going over the metals market here, and we're using our TrendCloud system. Okay, and here we go. So we've pulled back into that area. We've pulled back into that area here. Okay, on the 5-minute chart. So, do we take a chance on this? Well, we could take a chance on this. We're just going against some momentum here, right? And we still have this downward trend, right? We're not green yet completely. We have the crossover, but this could drop down a little further, right? This could drop down a little further. So a technique that you can use on the lower time frame is you can take the bounce off of this. So let's say this candle forms like an inside candle, right? We can take the trade one tick above that inside candle, and it's like a confirmation entry. Okay, it's like a confirmation entry. Now we also have, if you purchase if you have the TrendCloud system, we have confirmation entry candles that we've built out, right? So let's go put those confirmation entry candles on here. Okay, and here you go. You can see and here we go. Okay, so we're breaking through that. Not yet. We haven't broken through yet, but it is breaking through. We still have a lot of trend and momentum on our side, but this is a pretty deep pullback. A lot of people here are going short. Where is this going to head to? Go back to your 15-minute chart here. Where's the next level? And if you look at this, I'm really not liking this stuff because look at all this chop, right? Did this break structure? No. Did this break structure? No. It just kind of, this is all sideways chop in here. Okay, this is all sideways chop in here. So this could pull back to like previous day's close, previous day's open, previous day's low. These are all support levels, all right? These are all support levels. These are support levels inside of the chop area. So it never really gives you a proper demand zone. So always be able to identify chop areas, right? Which is why we go to our secondary method of entry, which is our TrendCloud signals, right? So we've got some confirmation entry signals on there, and we've got our TrendCloud signals on here as well, these green arrows. Drop down to the 5-minute again. Okay. Here's our cycle indicator. We might want to see a pullback into into this area here and start to cycle back up before we start taking the trade. So it ripped through this zone, right? And we didn't want to take this zone because it was formed inside this chop area. So it doesn't really give us a good, a good signal for or a good entry on our demand zone. So let's see how our confirmation entry signals do here on platinum. And if we start to get reversal signals, right, which will look like this. Here is the move down. What we want to see is a pullback, maybe a lower high, a higher low put in, right? We don't want it to go past there, and we want it to break through structure like that. That's always the pattern you're looking for, right? That's always the pattern you're looking for, right, guys? Looks like this. You've got this uptrend, right? And the reversal will look like this. Pull back, maybe a double top, or forms a lower high right there. Now you can start looking for your reversal. And what would it look like? A pullback into the area that it broke. We draw that area out like this, right? That would be a supply zone. And then a breakdown. And then we would do it again. Pull back into the area that broke. And then a push down until that reverses, right? Forms a higher low, right? Here's your low, here's your higher low, and we get a break of structure. What's it going to do? It's going to pull back into that area that broke, right? And we say it's some sort of zone, right? It's a zone. And then the move up. Breaks through here. Maybe it runs into previous previous resistance here. Okay, this is an old supply zone. There might be some juice left in, and then the move up. Sometimes this zone will give it trouble. That's right. The first time the candles pull back to the area, you want to be the most concerned. So now this zone is no longer fresh, and that's probably when we get a breakthrough. Maybe it goes to this zone, right? Breaks through here, pulls back, pulls back into the area, and now that becomes a demand zone for the move up. Okay? Until you get all the way back to the top. See how it works? All the way back to the top. And this up here is usually on like a higher time frame, and it's a market edge. And that's usually pretty strong, right? We've all seen that. We've all seen those turnaround points. Okay, and then it's like, okay, now we have to see some break of structure here, and maybe we break through this and we start the cycle all over again, right? We start the cycle all over again. Okay, so that is what we go over, right, in the masterclass in detail. Very specifically in the TrendCloud masterclass, what to look for, what do formations look like, what are the strongest looking formations, right? And we always say a formation that breaks through another formation, that's what really gives you strength, right? So those are those are the lessons that we go through in that masterclass, and we apply TrendCloud to it, and it becomes a real visual representation of the chart. Did I see wrong, or is this a setting? Yeah, yeah. So no, those are the confirmation entry candles that I put on the chart, Hitch. This is the regular trend cloud that you've got, and then confirmation entry candles. When you click those on, it's sort of, you know how some indicators override other indicators, like you were using trend cloud, and then you put another indicator on the chart and you didn't realize, and some of the candles weren't changing colors, like it was overriding the blue candles for you, I believe. So so that's what that is. So you have to just know what indicators you've got on your chart, and sometimes you have to turn some of them off to get the reading right. So right now we've got this breakout to the downside on platinum, and we're trying to figure out, hey, how do we get in on this uptrend, because the highest time frame just broke to the upside here, and we've got this deep pullback. So it is pulling back to, it looks like it's pulling back to that 4-hour trend cloud, which is represented by that plus sign right there. Um, so how do we get in on this? Well, we've got to start looking for some signals, right? Because all of the demand zones that are going to be in here, they're not looking so good, right? The demand zones that are in here, none of them broke structure. Like if this demand zone, this drop base rally right here, okay, if this demand zone broke through structure right here, then I would say, yeah, this is looking good, right? But it didn't do that. It went to here, right? Pulled back, retested that area, and just went sideways. Look at this sideways movement, guys. Right? I'm just drawing genuinely what the lines look like. So does it come back here? Possibly, but it might not have enough strength. There might not be enough buyers in here to make it do this, right? So this is really not something we want to be a part of. So you see how you have to put all of this stuff together and talk yourself through this. So let's move on. It is 9:41. Let's go over to crude oil before we go to the indexes. Crude oil trending down, cycling down, momentum down on that high time frame. That's very strong. That's a lot of force to the downside, right? Okay, gotcha, Hitch. Yep. And yeah, a lot of force to the downside on that high time frame. Now we've got an uptrend on the middle time frame, but yet we've got downward momentum. My goodness, how do you make sense of that? Downtrend, down momentum, uptrend, down momentum. How do we make sense of this? Well, we just say that this is mixed signals. So when you have mixed signals on your trend cloud, you just simply walk away. You don't want to be a part of mixed signals. You want everything to be in the same direction, right? So what do we want? What would make this perfect? This would be perfect if we had red candles breaking below this line in the sand here, right? We want this to turn down, become red, right? We want this to be red. Red candles crossing below. We need some red here, right? And it's not given and it's not giving it to us. Okay. It's getting stopped, right? We're getting stuck here. So is this a turnaround point? I mean, we are at $70, right? This thing went down to 68.79. Wow. Okay. Is that the bottom? That's what everybody's asking themselves. Has oil hit bottom? Well, we shall see. We shall see. So as of right now, we're just sort of in this pullback on crude oil. Does it make another move down? We'll have to see. But right now we've got mixed signals here. Okay. How about natural gas? Let's go to natural gas. Okay, and you can see here that we had this sideways movement going on. Here's the top of the cycle, bottom of the cycle. It went sideways, and it is super extended to the downside, right? Broke out to the downside, and we are super extended. So, we have to wait, right? So we really have to wait for some kind of turnaround. Let's go out to the daily chart, and let's go. Let's see, maybe even the weekly. We're at an all-time low. I mean, you can see if you look back, we are pretty much at an all-time low here, right? Okay, look what we've got here. Full contract on that weekly. Yeah. I mean, that is definitely demand, right? Let's be a little bit more specific. And let's just box this out right here. Okay. Box out that consolidation. I don't think there's anything lower than that. No. That's the lowest point. That is the lowest point on natural gas. Came down, hit that area, and now we're making another test down to that area. Right? 1.991. Go back to the full contract. And let's put that on our chart. If you want to put that on your chart, the full contract, just hit that little signal, that little square looking thing, and it'll put the full contract back on your chart so you can make reference to it. Right there. And just drag it up and put it right there. So let's go back to the full contract. Four-hour chart. Recalculate. Wow. Look at that trend, guys. I mean, look at that. Let's do a little classical charting here, right? Practice your trend lines, okay? Let's grab it from the body of the candle, draw it down, right? That's what looks best to me. And geez, I mean, you can even draw it this way too, right? I mean, look what we've got here. Bring it in. We definitely got a trend line break to the downside, don't we? We bring this here. You want to have at least 3 candles where the body is touching, right? So there and there. Something like that, you know. Don't get too crazy with it, you know. You don't have to get too crazy with it. So there you go. Yeah, just break into the downside here. Break into the downside. Recalculate the chart. Hit that little button. Okay. 4 hour, 1 hour, 15-minute. We are cycling down and momentum is down. Cold winter could pop to the upside. Wait for the weather forecast. Yeah, you can. The weather forecast would definitely be a catalyst, right? It would definitely be a catalyst to what's going on here. All right, just recalculate everything, make it nice and neat, and put TrendCloud back up there. We're super extended, man. Super extended trend. Who knows? Yeah, maybe Hitch, weather report comes out in an extended trend. Says it's going to be really cold winter. That could be enough to change the direction here of our chart. But even if that does come out, we still have to wait for the proper signals, right? Because we don't like getting faked out, right? We don't want to get faked out of. We don't want to get faked out in general. Confirmation entry candles, no signals yet to the upside, so we are in free fall here. All right, let's get over to the indexes. Micro S&P. Really trying to break out of that sideways movement there on that S&P, right? And it looks like we're just starting to do it. Just starting to break out to the upside. Let's clear the chart. We do have an uptrend on the 4-hour. We've got an uptrend on the middle time frame. We love that, right? Cycling down, right? Okay, so we're cycling down. Momentum is down on the high time frame. So you've got this upward trend going up, and you've got downward momentum. So you got this two trains colliding, right? Two very powerful elements colliding with each other. And what we want to see in a perfect world, right? What we want to see is we want to see this start to turn green again. And we want our cycle indicator to come back down, maybe do a little one of these jobs, and then move back up, right? We want to see that. We want to see green, this thing cycle down and then start turning green. And once you start seeing these two indicators start flashing green again, you'll be able to jump back into the trade, right? But as of right now, we've got some mixed signals here. The Dow, same thing. We're just starting to break to the upside here. Super extended, right? Super extended on that high time frame. And we're going sideways. All this is sideways movement. All of this, right? Sideways action. Let's make that gray. Sideways movement, I always like making gray. And we'll make it like that. Go to that gearbox, turn off, extend right, and now you've got yourself a little consolidation box there, a neutral consolidation box. And it will look like that. There we go. See how these TrendCloud signals work so well? These TrendCloud signals are awesome. And they're going to work best, okay, when you have all three time frames in alignment with each other. We are looking at the 4-hour chart, but just take a look here. In general, they work, right? Pulls back into the cloud, you get a signal, and for 16 hours it goes up and then makes a pullback. Right here, it goes up and just keeps going. All right. But notice how these TrendCloud signals, are taking place either inside a green trend cloud or above that line in the sand, right? This is our line in the sand between up and down. They're all taking place above the trend cloud, inside the trend cloud, or above the trend cloud line, right? Above that 50. That's when these signals work the best. Okay? And there you go. Win, win, win. Right? And here's sideways movement. So we don't want to take signals in a sideways movement in this extended trend, because this thing is super extended. This is going to break. When is it going to break? Well, we don't know, but we definitely know it wants to break to the downside and start to refuel, right? We've got to recalculate the numbers here because we've gone too far. All right. Let's go over to the NASDAQ and check out what's going on with the NASDAQ here. Okay, high time frame is up. Okay, we've got a hookup on K, but momentum is up on all three time frames, right? Trend is up, trend is up, momentum is up, momentum is up. The only thing we don't have is that little cycle indicator here is totally it's kind of sideways right now, right? We've got a downtrend with this upward percent K, and even that now is starting to move to the downside. Take a look at this right here. TrendCloud also to the upside. Now, these signals that we're getting on the 15-minute chart, they're doing pretty well, right? They're doing pretty well, right? We wouldn't take this signal here. We wouldn't take this signal because it's against the trend, right? But these signals, we get a deep pullback and then a move to the upside, right? So they're going to really point you in the right direction here. Mixed signals on JMP security. CRISPR, yeah. 9%. Wow, that is crazy. 9%. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's take a look at CRISPR here. Stocks. CRISPR. Yeah, look at that. There's that. We were drawing out that triangle. Wow. So here we were in this like strong uptrend. Yeah, the market can do some crazy stuff. Market can do some crazy stuff. Were we extended anywhere? I don't believe so. We just pulled back into that fourth wave. And it really hit a ceiling here, didn't it? So I mean, we can tell now there's a lot of sellers up here. Let's remove everything and box out. I would box it out like this. Make that red. Okay, and extend that out. So that when it comes back up, we'll be able to find it again. So there's a lot of sellers up in this area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, man. 8 times popped up into that area and moved down. Maybe it's heading for this area here. Look what we've got. We've got this area down here for our demand. Right, and here's your 100 and 200 simple moving average. Inside of this demand zone, we've got a gap fill also, right? So maybe it's popping down to 52.75 maybe, right? 52.75 is the 100 simple moving average. And with companies that you want to buy, remember, how do we use this to buy stocks, right? Jump over to that 1 hour chart, and you can start accumulating on the moves to the upside, right here, crosses to the upside, start buying. Down, 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 crosses to the upside, accumulate, right? Buy some more shares. Pulls back, crosses back to the upside, buy more shares. Pulls down, and now we're just going sideways, right? So maybe you accumulated here even more, and it went up, and now it's crashing back down. So when it comes back down to here, you can start using that TrendCloud, or you can look at your option chain, tell your finance guy, or do it yourself, and say, hey, look, I want to start accumulating shares of CRISPR, around 52.96 or whatever. And that's how you would accumulate stocks that you believe in. All right. Coming up on the top of the hour here. Let's get back over here. Yep. Platinum pulled back to that high time frame trend cloud. See how it's hitting that 50 simple on the 1 hour chart? Starting to cycle down and make that hook back up. What did it pull back to? Well, it pulled back right to here. Right to there. So what do we want to wait for? On that lower time frame, drop down to your 5-minute chart. And what do we want to see? We want to see something like this. And here it is, right? We've got this downward move. We want to see a higher low put in. We don't want to see it cross that structure. We want to see it break this way to the upside. This is what we want to see. Then we can start going long on copper again. All right. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the hour here. I'm going to be streaming 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., doing a solid hour of strict technical analysis Monday through Friday, guys. So if you liked that, come back. We're going to do some more. If you're interested in TrendCloud, you can go over to my website here. If you go onto my profile and you go over to my website, it's on my profile here. Just click onto chrisgiuliano.com right there, and you'll see all of the TrendCloud products right here. You can